Good morning, and happy Tuesday from the farm. Welcome to another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil, where we talk story about the farmers and ranchers using hydroponic practices to grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. I am your host, Seany Alfalfaseed, and thank you for being with us on this beautiful morning. It is actually colder here today in Colorado, and the sun is shining. -8 degrees without a wind chill. It's funny, us in the colder climates tend to forget that when the sun is out, it is actually a lot nicer than we can anticipate. However, I say that with a little bit of caution because even though the sun is out in some of those northern climates, it's still pretty cold. One advantage that we have here in Colorado is that it's pretty dry. Yesterday, I spoke about water use efficiency, and today I'd like to flip the script a bit and talk about that dryness that we do have here in Colorado. Today, I'd like to touch on drought, define it a bit, and talk about how we see some of it here in our lives. I know those people out there that have not seen a dry climate, perhaps some of my friends that I went to school with that live in tropical climates may not quite understand what it means to not have water. And when we don't have water, what does that mean for our crops? And what does that mean for our creatures? But real quick, while I got you here, if you like what you've heard or hear, please follow the show. Leave a review so others can understand and stay tuned. Now, drought is really this period of time when there isn't enough water to meet all of the needs in the area. And there's a lot of reasons for this. It can happen because it hasn't rained much or because people are using water more than usual. During drought times, we don't see enough water for plants and animals to drink, for those crops to grow, which is the biggest problem for us farmers and for the environment at large. And we see that drought is caused by a lot of different things, but most recently, we're seeing the effects of the climate and natural weather patterns that change and cause differences in how we're used to doing things. And it's these reasons why it's important that we do our best to conserve the water that we do have right now. Even doing things like turning off the tap while we're using water at the sink or for household uses, and using brooms instead of sprayers and hoses to clean off surfaces outside. Here in Colorado, we face drought on a consistent basis, and one of the effects and things we're asked to do is to restrict our water use. It's why I mentioned using a broom instead of a hose to clean off like your driveway or something like that. Other areas, there's not even enough water for people to water their lawns or even take showers. A recent video I watched of some people in Central California aren't even able to get water out of the tap when they lift the handle. They rely on the runoff from the roof and boiling it, kind of like a third world country. In those areas where we see the water not coming out of the tap, it can even lead to worse things like wildfire, which ultimately burns down all of our homes and the land that we are trying to use to grow our food. A bit somberness came over my voice because I live and sit in this area where we are experiencing extreme drought. We have a better word for what we call that here, and it's called aridification. And that's a term used to describe the process where an area is becoming more and more dry. And it happens when there's a consistent decrease in the rainfall and an increase in the temperatures that we see. The disparity between the night and day highs and lows, and less moisture in the air and soil significantly affect how the climate is changing in our area. And over the time, this has caused the vegetation to decrease. Our rangelands and grasslands are growing less in the areas where we ran our sheep and cattle, or where we grew those different hay crops. It's making it so much harder for us to grow the crops or even find water in general. Aridification is a major concern in many parts of the world, not just here, especially those areas that are already dry. I've brought up Australia in the past, and it's another really good place to better understand what it means to use water efficiently. Areas like here and there are experiencing such a rapid rate of aridification that it's leading to desertification, meaning we're getting deserts. And it's making life even harder for all of the people and all of the animals living here. These challenges of drought are going to be interesting as we look forward in the future. It's people like us out there, the local communities, and rallying responsible government officials crying for us to do better things with our water and investing in the proper technologies and water management practices that are going to allow us to move forward. It's looking at what we're already using that's working and finding other solutions to continue improving. And by working together, we can help ensure that there's enough water for everyone and every crop and critter, even during these prolonged droughts. That is all I have for us on this Tuesday. If you've enjoyed this or any of the other previous episodes, go ahead and follow the show. Hit the notification button so you can get me in your pocket. If you'd like to learn more about how hydroponic fodder helps farmers save water, improve livestock quality, and become better stewards, get yourself a copy of my book at thinkingoutsidethesoil.com. So be sure to follow the show, get yourself a copy of that book, and watch some of the videos in the link below so you don't miss out on becoming part of the next agricultural revolution. Join us again tomorrow for another episode. Thank you for being here. Take care and have a lovely day.
Hey, before you go, check out the links below. Leave me a rating and review and follow the show. Don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health blended sprouting mix. Our mix has been shown to get the best eggs and create the healthiest flocks. With feed costs going up, right now's the time to lock in a subscription so that you can get the best eggs without having to go to the grocery store or the feed store anymore. Check out the links below to get yourself some Blooming Health blended sprouting mix.